Jon Jones is coming back next month, going to fight Daniel Cormier. A lot of people say he's the best pound-for-pound fighter in the world.
He's not.
How do you rank the fighters?
I'm number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and maybe John and Mighty Mouse is 10. That's where I feel.
Heavyweight legend Jon Jones sneaked into a random fan's private messages and fired off a waterfall of angry texts about cash, respect, and his wife and kids. The fan slaps share, and like sparks in dry straw, the images flash across X and glow in every MMA chat room on Earth. After that, a second video drops. Conor McGregor striding onto a bare knuckle press stage, forehead grinding against Mike Perry's, barking that Perry will dance for him on October 11th. Cameras pop, security hovers, and the clip spreads faster than a sneeze on a school bus. Then a third shocker hits.
Is there a chance you do Conor and Jon on the same card?
I don't know. I mean, in a year, who knows what the world will look like in a year.
A podcast snippet of UFC boss Dana White calmly describing plans to build a full-size cage on the White House lawn so regular folks can watch head kicks with the Washington Monument shining behind them. 3 giant headlines collide in the length of a single breath. Group chats explode, and every fight fan on the planet jolts upright like a dog hearing the treat bag rustle.
So every one of our national park, battlefields, and historic sites are going to have special events in honor of America 250. And I even think we're going to have a UFC fight. Does anybody watch UFC, the great Dana White?
Meanwhile, far from that online blaze, bantamweight workhorse Marab Dvalishvili lives in a simpler rhythm. Run icy hills, lift heavy things, and beg the matchmakers for a date. He trades freezing Georgian river swims for a polished Las Vegas steakhouse and meets Hunter Campbell, the UFC dealmaker whose phone never stops buzzing. Marab posts a brisk selfie, blue suit, bright grin, thumbs up beside Hunter's half smile, and captions it, "Hungry to fight as soon as possible." Anyone who watched him shoot 30 takedowns in a single bout knows he means it literally. The 135-pound ladder is reshuffling like a frantic board game. Corey Sandhagen glides on fancy footwork, Jonathan Martinez swings leg kicks like an axe, and Sean O'Malley can skip the line whenever pay-per-view math tilts his way. Marab doesn't flinch. He keeps gloves taped, passport ready, and his ringtone at full blast. If a contract pings at breakfast, he'll sign it before the coffee cools. For any 7th grader listening, the lesson is clear. Whoever accepts Marab's challenge had better double knot those laces, because he'll sprint out of the tunnel like a dog after a tennis ball. On another mat, middleweight wrecking ball Khamzat Chimaev pushes through sparring rounds, while a swirling rumor cloud forms overhead. Training partner Caio Borralho whispers that if Khamzat defeats Dricus du Plessis for the belt, he might retire on the spot.
I wanted to get your thoughts on Dricus as a champion, his run so far, and what do you make of his grappling?
What do you think, guys? How I done with this guy, Rob? How he done? Rob took him down. So if Rob took him down, so there is salam alaikum.
At first, that sounds like pure clickbait. Why quit at the peak of power? Yet a peek at old headlines gives it weight. In 2021, a brutal case of COVID left Khamzat coughing blood and posting a tearful goodbye before doctors and Dana White talked him down. Add suffocating attention from homeland leaders who expect nothing but victory, plus wild weight cuts that leave him wobbling at the scale, and retirement starts to look like cool water on a scorcher. Caio says Khamzat already owns roomy houses, custom cars, and nest eggs thick enough to spoil grandkids not yet born. When you spend dawn wrestling giants, quiet fishing on a lake begins to shimmer. Still, fighters often retire on Friday and bolt back to the gym by Monday as soon as they hear an arena chanting their nickname.
Dricus du Plessis has a $10,000 proposal for Chimaev. I'll give you $10,000 every time you can take me down. So what does a fight look like between Chimaev and Dricus if there's no takedown? Are you completely certain that for Chimaev to win this fight, he must take him down? But what if we put it in reverse?
If Khamzat bulldozes Dricus, that roar might yank him right out of any peaceful daydream. Back in podcast land, Dana White turns internet whispers into blockbuster set pieces. He lays out a plan straight from a comic book. Stage a full UFC pay-per-view on the south lawn of the White House. He chuckles about Secret Service checkpoints, VIP badges softer than pillows, and the puzzle of where to park the production trailers, yet insists the vision is real. Dana pictures ring walk smoke drifting across the Truman balcony while drones capture head kicks with the Washington Monument glowing like a giant nightlight. If lightweight King Islam Makhachev hops to welterweight, beats knockout artist Jack Della Maddalena, and fastens a second belt.
People say that because of that, Islam deserves some maybe pound-for-pound #1 rankings.
He's already the pound-for-pound #1 ranking.
But is he yours?
Yeah. Yeah.
The next logical match is champion versus champion against featherweight bruiser Ilia Topuria. Islam's vice grip grappling against Ilia's rocket fist beside Rose Gardens, and history sounds like a movie trailer waiting to happen. Dana even jokes about reviving the Easter egg hunt that morning because, he says, the White House belongs to the people. It's wild, pricey, and logistically bonkers, but exactly that insanity makes the image impossible to forget. Just thinking about a cage near the Oval Office yanks Jon Jones back to competition like a magnet to steel. Quietly, with no trumpets, he re-enters the USADA testing pool, inviting drug testers to knock whenever the sun is still sleeping.
Who's the most overrated UFC fighter?
That's funny. I could say his name, but it's really just because I don't like him. And saying his name gives him clout, which I also don't want to do. His initials are CC, and he's a total douchebag.
Step 1 toward a grand comeback is complete. Insiders now sketch a heavyweight showdown between Jones and interim champ Tom Aspinall, the British giant who moves like a middleweight yet punches like a falling oak. Jon treasures history almost as much as fame, and fighting on the White House lawn would outshine even Madison Square Garden in his scrapbook. The rumor pot boils harder when Dana hints that Conor McGregor could share that same card. Picture both megastars on one poster. Fans would practically throw their wallets at the screen. Sure, Conor's leg must pass medical tests, and Jon still drags legal baggage plus those newly leaked DMs. But crowds forgive almost anything once the cage door slams.
Conor McGregor is saying that he's the #1 pound-for-pound fighter on the planet. Settle the debate for us. Do you relinquish that title while you've been away, or is he making claims that he doesn't deserve?
You know, Conor's great for the sport.
Deals crash and injuries strike, yet the mere possibility lights every forum on fire. Conor, master of immediate attention, demonstrates that his spotlight magnet still works in dazzling fashion. At a Bare Knuckle FC press conference, he strides on stage in a designer suit, plants his forehead against Mike Perry's battle-scarred brow, and growls that Perry will dance for him on October 11th. Flashbulbs pop like popcorn in a microwave. Perry, built like a concrete block painted with tattoos, smiles through the tension, fully aware the clip is spinning on every sports feed within minutes. Conor then teases that one of the baddest men ever to grace the UFC will step into the no-glove ring to meet Perry, launching wild guessing games about which retired legend might sign the dotted line. Some fans think Conor is testing villain energy for his own cage return. Others believe he thrives purely on causing delightful havoc. Perry understands the stakes. If he's steamrolled that night, he'll become a meme in record time. If he wins big, Conor might be cage-side with contracts in hand, and that mischievous grin ready to pounce. Either way, the brief showdown proves once again that a McGregor cameo can hijack an entire news cycle before breakfast. A calmer voice cuts through the noise when towering Russian Alexander Volkov speaks to reporters. He has shared the cage with both Tom Aspinall and Cyril Gane, giving his opinion on their rumored title clash useful weight. In plain language, he calls the contest a coin toss. Volkov recalls London 2022, where Aspinall shot like a rocket, dragged him down, and wrapped a lightning-fast, straight-arm lock before the crowd found their seats. He also remembers Las Vegas 2023, where Gane glided on nimble feet, flicked stinging jabs and calf kicks, and slipped away with a split decision. Since that night, Gane has patched his wrestling holes with sunrise to sunset grappling drills, yet on paper, Aspinall still looks more complete. Crisp hands, sharp jiu-jitsu, and youth on his side. Volkov breaks it down at kid level. If Tom lands an early takedown, danger explodes fast. If Cyril keeps the fight circling in open space, his jab kick rhythm builds points like spare change in a jar. Both heavyweights own fight-ending power, so picking a sure winner feels like flipping a coin in a windstorm. While analysts debate footwork and feints, super agent Ali Abdelaziz lobs another rumor grenade. He claims Islam Makhachev versus Jack Della Maddalena is headed not to Abu Dhabi's familiar desert, but to one of the biggest arenas in the United States. Instantly, venue bingo kicks off. Could it be Madison Square Garden, whose ceiling lights have watched title fights since cassette tapes? Maybe Dallas's AT&T Stadium, where the Jumbotron is wider than a highway? Or perhaps Las Vegas's Allegiant Marvel, glittering under neon desert skies? Ali also reveals that if Belal Muhammad had won his last bout, Islam would still be guarding lightweight gold against Ilia Topuria rather than exploring welterweight waters.
You know, Ilia Topuria is talking about coming to 155, and you're like, I'm tired of these little people coming up to fight me.
That makes sense. Give the chance third time from the same guy. Okay, I beat the Volkanovski twice. People still say you beat small guy.
Yeah.
He's not your weight division.
One result twisted two divisions like puzzle cubes. Now Islam drills for a striker who drills body shots like darts, yet must still fear being dragged into deep water. Travel planners hover over booking apps, searching dates and hotel deals before posters are even printed. Not every headline hinges on belts. Some ride on raw honesty. Former lightweight champion Charles Oliveira recently described in painstaking detail the night Ilia Topuria delivered his first real knockout. Charles, who owns the UFC submission record, had previously eaten bombs from Justin Gaethje and Dustin Poirier without losing consciousness. But Ilia's right hand was different. Charles remembers slipping a jab, then waking on the canvas while Coach Diego Lima urged him to breathe slowly under glaring lights. Admitting someone hits harder than Gaethje sends chills through 2 weight classes and skyrockets Topuria's reputation from rising star to sleepless night generator. Charles still smiles in interviews, saying losses are teachers, but the tight edge in his voice shows that punch plays on loop in his head like a stubborn song. He promises to weld tighter defense, climb back to a title, and maybe even seek a rematch. Somewhere in Spain, Ilia nods quietly, knowing future foes will now tape his highlights to their locker doors and swallow a harder lump of fear on weigh-in day. Closer to home, middleweight scrapper Chris Curtis chooses a quieter but equally brave path. After 2 tough losses at 185, he's trimming nearly 30 pounds of stubborn weight to return to welterweight against Max Griffin in music-loving Nashville. The cut leaves him cranky, hungry, and daydreaming of fries, yet trading punches with giants who ballooned to 230 by fight night felt like ramming a bicycle into parked trucks. Curtis started at 170, slicing around brawnier men with a grin, and he wants that speed back. Griffin swings heavy and rarely backpedals, promising a crowd-pleasing slugfest. As Curtis sweats under sauna lights, Dana White shows off a futuristic safe stuffed with rare sports cards. Jordan rookies, a shining Tom Brady refractor, and twin Puka Nakua gems, worth more than $1 million. Shiny cardboard riches sitting beside brutal cage fights might seem worlds apart, yet both are fueled by the same fire. Risk, passion, and the hunt for stories friends will share long after the lights dim. From leaked DMs and presidential fight pitches to retirement whispers and weight class gambles, this roller coaster week proves MMA's heartbeat never slows, and tomorrow's rumor will probably land before today's adrenaline even fades.